Welcome to Chapter 15 Workbook Exercise. In this one, we're talking about a large corporation with maybe hundreds of management and executive people in the chain, and we want to get a single report to all of them. And that single report is basically all of this with one additional column. And the one additional column is going to be in this situation where 2 quarters ago and last quarter there was an increase. Was it 10% or more or less? You have to show the percent. Improved by 1%. Is this an improvement of 1%? 15% rating improvement. Was this 15%? We need to show, and these are not all percent improvements. This is just a flat, we need 25 or more new customers. These are KPIs, key performance indicators. All executives should get the same one with the same calculated results. We would let all 100 executives do their own calculations, but then we would get 75 different results. So let's jump into Tableau. Good news, I have already done the work for you. Here's a new result column. They were supposed to get 1 or 2 new courses. They got 1, they hit their target. A decrease of 15% was their target in customer complaints. They had 15% decrease. They hit their target. At least 1.5 in range would be 2, not over 2. So they had 2, so they're in range. So you can see these are just comments that were made based on a comparison, in some cases, between this and this, current period to last period. And in some cases, it's just looking at the results for the current period to see if they're in range. So the calculation to produce this, or the calculations, how many calculations do you think it took? Here is the calculation. I'm going to make it a little bigger. I will keep it highlighted because it's easier to read. Look at the calculation and look at the data at the same time. It is checking this field, the sequence field. Sequence field keeps things in orders, but each letter tells us what kind of calculation we need to do. What's our target? In this case, our target is 10% increase in revenues. Last period we had this. This is our current period total. What's the increase in revenue? 13%. Better than the 10%. We're looking good. If it's not A, B, C, D, or F, and this is the calculation for that percent. And here's the calculation. We take the current period minus the prior period. We have parentheses around them. We divide by the prior period, and there are parentheses around that calculation. We multiply times 100, parentheses around that calculation. That's why they have so many here. The left side keeps getting them. And then we do the round comma 0 to get this down to the whole percent. And then we do the plus sign, percent sign. Because when we do this calculation, we need to convert it to a string and then add percent sign just to make it look right. So this is a little bit complex the first time you look at it. But what you do, you start with just these 2 fields. Notice the parentheses. maybe print this out and highlight the two parentheses left and right, and look at the next one, highlight them. If it's not A, B, C, E, then is it a G? And if it's a G in the current period is in 1 or 2, meaning go down to G, it's in a 1 or 2, well, it's in a 1. If it's in a 1, we hit our target. That's why it says hit target here. If it was greater than 2, we exceeded our target. It's less than 1, we missed our target. In the D is looking at only 125. If it's greater than 24, meaning 25 or above, we hit our target. If it's less than 25, we're below target. We do the same thing for E. If the current period is less than 1.5, we're under our target. If it's greater than 2, we're over our target. Otherwise, it's in range. And this one might need fixed. So there may be an error in this. That's for you to find out. That's chapter 15, chapter 15 in a nutshell. Now, if you want to really have some fun, think about how to color these in red, yellow, and green to show really good, really bad. Or think about how to put another column in here, which is just an up or down arrow or a straight arrow. Straight to the right means they're just right on target. Up arrow means they're exceeding target, and down arrow means they're below target. Think about trying to add calculations in another field to this to do those. Right now, we're done with this chapter. Have a nice day, and we will see you when you are Tableau experts.